Have you ever asked yourself, or have you ever heard that weight loss is hormonal? The reason you can't lose weight or the reason you gained weight is hormones. If you've ever heard that and you're not really clear about what is the role of hormones in weight loss and weight gain, that's what we're going to cover in this video and end that debate and a bunch of myths once and for all. But before we go there, please click the subscribe button below, because on this channel, you're going to learn how to build a strong, high-performing, sexy, and healthy and high-energy physique as a successful entrepreneur without all the BS that this industry says that you have to do, like steroids, starvation, cutting carbs, etc. You don't have to do any of that. So click that subscribe button below and let's go. What's up, everyone? This is Coach Amir from sevenfigurebody.com, and in today's video, one of the most, I would say, debated topics out there is the role of hormones in weight loss. You probably heard weight loss is hormonal. A certain hormone is the reason that I gained weight, and that or some other hormone is the reason I cannot lose weight. You've probably heard this before. You may have taught this, for yourself as well. Well, let's actually, bust that myth right away. First, hormones are not the reason that you gained weight, nor are hormones the reason that you can't lose weight if you've been trying and you can't lose weight. You guys probably know this industry jumps from fats are bad and carbs are awesome to carbs are terrible and fats are amazing. So we are currently in the latter. So for the last 15, 20 years, if you notice, it's all been low carb, high fat diets. Keto, carnivore, paleo, whatever else. They're all low carb diets because they're saying carbs are the reason we are overweight. And of course, we know that's not true. The truth is we overeat both fats and carbs, and we have insufficient protein as a general rule. If you look at an average person, what they eat, this is the reason that they're overweight is because they overeat. It's not just, do we overeat carbs and we should eat less carbs? Definitely. But do we also overeat fats and we should eat less fats? Definitely, of course, because those are the two things that we're overeating. Like, we're eating way more than we need to be. That's why we're overweight. Now, is weight loss hormonal? No, it's not. Simply because the hormones are simply a messenger. Or if you look at it as, let's say there's 3 steps. There's a certain cause, something that everything starts from, and then there's hormones, and then there's the outcome, which is weight loss or weight gain, okay? So let's take an example, compare it to business. We're all entrepreneurs here. This channel is for entrepreneurs, and therefore business, comparisons make sense, because all of these things that I'm teaching you here, everything that I'm about, my life is about, is principles that really are the same across all fields. So let's say weight loss is hormonal and business is transactional. So your hormones do affect whether you gain weight or lose it, certainly, but there's something driving the hormones first, right? Let's focus on that, not on the hormone. Same thing here. Is business transactional? In order for the business to keep going and grow, do they need to be transactions? Yes. But what's before transactions? You got to have marketing, have people know about your business. You got to have sales. These people actually have to give you money for your service and product. And then, there's a bunch of other things, but let's just stick to, marketing and customers, marketing, sales, and customers, right? These drive transactions that then drive the business. Same thing here. What is driving your hormones? This is what we need to focus on. And what is it? Number one, it's the food you eat. You're basically overeating. We're all overeating, carbs and fats, as I said. But here's an interesting thing. You probably heard. So that's really the main thing we want to focus on, is what's driving the hormones. That's the real reason we lose weight or gain it. It's inevitable that hormones have a huge effect on weight loss and weight gain, yes. But focusing on hormone without thinking on what's driving the action of these hormones is kind of like barking at the wrong tree, right? So probably one of the biggest things that you've heard is insulin is the reason that everybody's fat, right? You eat carbs, insulin goes up. So therefore, all we got to do is reduce our carbs, insulin goes down, we lose weight. Yeah, wonderful, except that's not true. Meaning, does it work that way? Big picture, yes, but what is driving that? What's behind it? Well, here's the thing. Let's take an extremes of that. Let's say somebody is eating carbs, like a lot of carbs, but they are like, their percentage-wise, their diet is a high carb diet, but they are in a calorie deficit. Are they going to lose weight? Yes, of course they will. Actually, we have studies showing that, and this is decades old studies, and many of them have been done, where you have an obese individual eating a high carb diet in a calorie deficit, meaning they're eating below their maintenance calories. Guess what happens? They lose weight. they actually lose the exact same amount of weight that they do when they are in a low carb, high fat diet, assuming that the total calories are the same in both diets. Because calories, total calories, are what drives the weight loss or weight gain. It's not the actual composition of your diet, especially irrelevant is the composition of the ratio of your fats and carbs. They're pretty much irrelevant. The only thing that matters first is calories. Total calories for weight loss are king. Second thing that matters is the amount of protein you eat. If you have a low protein diet, which almost everybody does have, they lose a lot of muscle on their diet. It's horrible. Like, why would you do that? Your metabolic rate is going to be lower. The amount of weight you're going to gain after that diet is going to be significant. And that's exactly what happens for most people. So let's go back to insulin. What happens? Insulin insulin is not only released when you eat carbs. It's also released when you eat proteins, specifically fast digesting proteins. They are very insulinogenic, meaning they raise insulin a lot. And 3, your insulin is raised when you have a large meal. So what happens when you eat either a lot of carbs or a large meal, or you have a high amount of protein? Your insulin goes up because your blood sugar level gets really high. And because of that, insulin is produced to fix this issue. Insulin takes that sugar and then says, either use it as energy, or I'm going to store it into your muscles as glycogen, or I'm going to store it as fat if there's a surplus of calories. Okay? So insulin is actually not the reason you gain weight or lose weight. It's just responding to what you're doing with the actual inputs, which is what you eat, how much you eat, and of course there's exercise too. Exercise affects your hormones as well. Yada, yada, yada. Of course, the more you exercise, more calories you burn, the higher chance you have of being in a deficit or not being in a surplus, etc. Okay, so please remember that hormones are not to blame. Insulin is not to blame for your fat gain or fat loss. It's about what's causing the insulin to be really high. Okay, so let's take another example, cortisol. You've probably heard about cortisol, the stress hormone. When you're really stressed out, your cortisol goes high up. Why do we crave simple sugars and really have that sweet tooth when we are really stressed out? Because natural antidote to cortisol, the stress hormone, is insulin. So literally, physiologically, when you're stressed out, your body's going to tell you to eat more sugars and more simple sugars, candy and things like that. That is going to raise your insulin. That's going to lower your cortisol. It's literally going to lower your stress. That's the reason we eat carbs when we're stressed out. Okay. So one main thing that I wanted to kind of finish off with here is, please remember this. It seems like vast majority of fitness experts can't get this simple physiological truth, and that is transient or temporary increases in hormone levels do not matter at all for anything. For muscle building, for gaining weight, losing weight, they don't matter at all. What matters is chronic elevations, and always chronic elevations are very negative. Temporary elevations are normal, to be expected, and actually a lot of times the higher and better they are, the better the whole system works. So for example, the alertness that comes from your cortisol being high, the stress hormone, for example, pro athletes, they can very quickly get into the groove of okay, I need to perform, I'm ready. Their cortisol goes really high, but they're also very, very good at managing that. So when they need to not be stressed out, meaning the race or competition is over, they calm down really quickly and very deeply. On the other hand, what's an average stressed out entrepreneur who's out of shape and not exercising? What does he or she do? Well, their cortisol is constantly stressed, high, because the stress is high and they're all over the place. They can't calm down. So it's opposite of what the athlete has. Same is true with most of the hormones. You want to have your insulin being produced properly and controlled properly, meaning it goes up and then it comes down. It goes up and it comes down after each meal. Okay, what we don't want, and just like your blood sugar level, your blood sugar level being high after a meal is completely normal. That's how physiology works. But what you don't want is your blood sugar level being constantly elevated. That's extremely, extremely unhealthy. And the same thing is true with most hormones. Temporary or transient increase in the hormones do not matter at all. They don't do anything. So that's like somebody saying, when you work out, your testosterone or growth hormone go up. They do, but it doesn't matter for anything. They come down really quickly. Remember, in the testosterone world, right, the hormone, men's hormone, if a man is in a proximity of a woman that he finds very attractive, so a hot woman, you walk around and see her, your testosterone can go up by 40%. Just by being in proximity of a attractive woman. Do you think that builds more muscle or helps you burn more fat or lose more weight or vice versa? No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. These transient temporary increases basically do nothing. So please remember all of these things, like you'll hear fasting zealots, oh, when you fast, your growth hormone goes up. Yes, it does, very temporarily. And it's trying to actually get some energy so you can actually go get food. That's what it's trying to save you from starving yourself. Because that's what your body thinks you're doing when you voluntarily fast. Because think about it, no animal in the nature will voluntarily fast. Humans just figured out that that's magical for whatever reason. But that's neither here or there. So guys, that's it for today. Please remember, no, hormones are not the reason you're gaining weight. They're not the reason you can't lose weight. And one exception to this, I'll say, guys, I almost forgot, is when somebody has hypothyroid or Hashimoto's disease, meaning your thyroid gland is not producing enough T3 and T4, the hormones that control your metabolic rate. They are actually controlling your metabolic rate. So if somebody does have low, thyroid, yes, their metabolic rate and output of calories is going to be a bit lower, but that's about up to 10% of your normal resting metabolic rate, which again, for most women, it's going to be like 100 calories, 120, 130 calories a day. It's not the reason you can't lose weight or that you gained weight. Because remember, as I said earlier, first, we gain weight because of what we do. Our lifestyle choices get us to gain weight, meaning we're eating too much and we don't move or exercise. We're in a surplus of calories, we gain weight. That then messes up our hormones. It's not the other way around. So it's causation and correlation being mixed up, right? So please remember, no, hormones, they're not to blame or to celebrate for losing or gaining weight. They're basically responding to the inputs that you give. Focus on those, and basically your responsibility is in your hands, but also the power to control this is in your hands. Because a lot of people say, well, my hormones are messed up, I can't do anything about it. No, you certainly can, because your hormones will respond properly as long as you give it the right inputs, such as eating properly, exercising, etc. So anyways, guys, if you have any questions about this, please post them in the comments below. Let me know what you think. If you like this video and find value in it, please click the like button and share it too, so other entrepreneurs can benefit from this as well. And again, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time and hope it was educational and worthy of your time. So thanks for now. See you next time. Cheers, guys.